Imagine yourself deep within the lush prehistoric forests of what is now Germany. The air is thick with the earthly aroma of damp soil and rich vegetation, while the distant calls of ancient creatures echo around you. Suddenly, a rustling overhead draws your gaze. A fleeting shadow darts between the towering ferns and colossal trees. Your heart quickens as you catch a glimpse of something extraordinary. A small, feathered being gliding effortlessly from branch to branch. Its sharp claws grip the bark with precision as it perches, its keen eye surveying the primordial world. In this mesmerizing moment, the boundary between dinosaur and bird fades away, leaving you face to face with a living testament to evolution itself. The magnificent Archaeopteryx. In 1859, Charles Darwin revolutionized the scientific community with the publication of his On the Origin of Species, a groundbreaking work that laid the foundation for modern biology. Despite its significance, Darwin acknowledged one major gap in his theory: the lack of fossil evidence to illustrate the gradual changes between species over time. You see, at that point, paleontology was still in its early stages, and the minute transitions between ancient and modern lifeforms had yet been discovered. However, just 2 years later, his theory would be validated by an astonishing find. In 1861, in the Solnhofen quarries of Bavaria, Germany, a solitary feather imprinted in limestone was unearthed. This delicate impression caught the attention of German paleontologist Hermann von Meyer, who recognized its significance and named it Archaeopteryx lithographica. Just months later, the discovery of the first skeletal remains sent ripples through the scientific community. The fossil showcased a creature that seemed to bridge the gap between reptiles and birds. Renowned British biologist Richard Owen, the head of the Natural History Museum in London, described the fossil in detail, highlighting its blend of avian and reptilian features. The presence of feathers suggested a bird, yet it also possessed a long bony tail and 3 digits on its forelimbs, each bearing claws as long as those on the hind legs, a paradox that sparked excitement and debate among scientists. Over the following decades, additional specimens were found, each providing deeper insights into this enigmatic species. The Berlin specimen, indeed this one, well, this is a replica, but you get the point, discovered in 1874 and described by Wilhelm Demise 10 years later, offered the most complete look at Archaeopteryx. It was the first with a complete head and would reveal intricate details of its skeletal structure and feather arrangement. Demise would also identify this specimen as a new species, Archaeopteryx siamense. Debates have arisen regarding its exact placement in the evolutionary tree. While some researchers questioned whether it was more dinosaur than bird, the prevailing consensus affirms its pivotal role as an evolutionary link. Archaeopteryx has become a symbol of evolutionary biology, illustrating the gradual transformations that lead to new species. Archaeopteryx stands as a fascinating mosaic of features that blur the line between reptiles and birds. Measuring approximately 50 centimeters in length and weighing between 0.5 and 1 kilograms, it was similar in size to a modern raven. Its most notable characteristics was its feathers, which were well developed and bore a striking resemblance to those of contemporary birds. The feathers were asymmetrical, a trait associated with flight capability, suggesting that Archaeopteryx could fly for short distances. The creature possessed a set of jaws lined with sharp conical teeth, a feature typical of reptiles that indicates a carnivorous diet that likely included insects, small reptiles, and amphibians. Its long bony tail consisted of about 20 vertebrae, each supporting a pair of feathers, providing balance and stability during movement while hunting among the dense foliage of its environment. Its skeleton revealed further links to its ancestry, possessing forelimbs that ended in 3 clawed fingers, reminiscent of its theropod dinosaur relatives. These claws may have been used for climbing trees or grasping prey. The skeletal structure of its wings suggests that while it had the apparatus for flight, it lacks some of the advanced adaptations seen in modern birds, such as a keeled sternum for the attachment of powerful flight muscles. While there is limited direct evidence of its behaviour, scientists infer that Archaeopteryx was likely agile, capable of both running on the ground and navigating through trees. It may have hunted alone, using its flight abilities to surprise prey, or evade predators. It's also plausible that Archaeopteryx engaged in nesting practices akin to those of early birds and small dinosaurs. The characteristics of Archaeopteryx not only define a unique species in its own right, but also illuminate a pivotal moment in the evolutionary journey from dinosaur to modern birds. Archaeopteryx inhabited the Late Jurassic period around 150 million years ago in what is today the Solhofen region in Bavaria, Germany. During this time, the area was vastly different from that of present day, a series of tropical islands nestled in a shallow, warm sea near the edge of the Tethys Ocean. The climate was warm, characterized by seasonal rains that supported a diverse range of flora and fauna. The landscape featured lagoons, reefs, and small land masses covered with conifers, cycads, and ferns. These plants provided both habitat and food sources for the variety of organisms. The surrounding waters were rich in marine life, including fish, mollusks, and crustaceans, which are well preserved in the fine-grained limestone deposits that also entomb the Archaeopteryx fossils. The presence of other small dinosaurs, early mammals, and various reptiles suggests a complex food web in which Archaeopteryx played a role as both predator and prey. Within such an ecosystem, Archaeopteryx occupied a unique niche. Its ability to traverse both terrestrial and aerial environments allowed it to exploit resources that others could not. The dense vegetation offered ample opportunities for hunting and nestling, while the relative isolation of the islands may have limited the number of large predators, providing a safer habitat for itself and limiting its competition. Its adaptations for flight and climbing would have been advantageous for escaping threats and accessing food sources in the trees and the ground. However, even in this dynamic world of rich resources, changes were unfolding that would challenge the very existence of this incredible creature. The extinction of Archaeopteryx marks a significant point in the evolutionary timeline. While the exact reasons for its disappearance remain subject to research, several plausible factors have been proposed. As the Jurassic period transitioned into the Cretaceous, approximately 145 million years ago, the Earth experienced considerable geological and environmental changes. Shifting tectonic plates altered the configuration of continents and seas, leading to changes in climate and sea levels. These shifts transformed the island environments of the region, reducing the habitats that Archaeopteryx and similar species relied upon. The alteration of ecosystems would have affected the availability of food sources and nesting sites, placing stress on populations. Competition from other emerging species is another likely factor. More advanced avian species with superior flight capabilities and specialized adaptations began to appear. These new birds would have had a distinct advantage over Archaeopteryx for resources, as they were better equipped to exploit various ecological niches. Predation pressures would have further increased with the migration of other predators into the area. As sea levels changed, the previously isolated islands became more accessible, allowing new predators to enter the habitat and increasing the risks for Archaeopteryx. However, as said, the extinction of Archaeopteryx did not signify the end of its lineage's influence on evolution. While Archaeopteryx itself vanished, it represents a pivotal step in the evolutionary bridge between dinosaurs and birds. Its unique combination of avian and reptilian features provides crucial insights into how modern birds evolved from their dinosaur ancestors. Although it's uncertain whether Archaeopteryx is a direct ancestor of today's birds or a close relative on a side branch, its existence represents the gradual transformation that gave rise to the avian diversity we see and indeed enjoy today. Thanks for joining me, my fellow apes, on this expedition into the extinct. If this glimpse into bygone biodiversity intrigued you, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell as we continue to explore more of the fascinating world that once was.